Hey guys, welcome back. Cauliflower is such a versatile ingredient and can be used for anything from rice to pizza crust. But today I'm going to show you how to make cauliflower cakes. They are so tasty and so healthy, and they are keto and paleo friendly too. So let's get cooking. The first thing is to bring water to a boil and add salt in it and add the cauliflower florets and boil them till they are nice and tender. After that, we'll start off with chopping our vegetables. Red onions to go in first. A small red onion, peeled and chopped up into very fine pieces. It's very important that you chop your vegetable very finely because you don't want large chunks to go in. It will not have a nice mouthfeel. Also, I prefer to use red onion over white onion because the red onions have got less water in them and they're more intense in flavor. The white onions have got a lot of water and they really spoil the texture of the cauliflower cakes. A large clove of garlic, slice it first very finely and then very finely chopped. Again, I'll emphasize that it needs to be all finely chopped because you do not want the large pieces. It's not nice to have a large piece of green chilli or large piece of garlic coming in your mouth. It leaves a very bad aftertaste. A small quantity of green chilli. I like to slice and chop my green chilli along with the seeds. If you don't like it spicy, you can actually take out the seeds altogether, or in fact, don't even put the green chilli. The choice is entirely yours. To give color to the dish, also add some red pepper. If you have an orange pepper or yellow pepper, that will work fine. So take a quarter of the red bell pepper or a little cheek, slice it finely and then chop it up into very fine pieces. And you can already begin to see the colors, the reds, the green, the light yellows of the garlic. They already are looking so colorful. All these vegetables will actually go off into the cauliflower cake to give it the base. Once the cauliflower florets have cooled down, transfer it to a bowl and then mash it with your back of the spatula. Now when you mash it, just make sure that you don't make it into a very fine mash or don't make it into a paste. It needs to be coarse, more like a crumble kind of a texture, because that gives a very nice bite. When you actually eat the cauliflower cakes, you can actually see the pieces of cauliflower and the vegetables, and that is very important because visually it looks very nice, and also for the taste point, texturally it gives a very nice mouthfeel to the dish. Add in the red peppers, the garlic, the green chili and the onions to the mashed cauliflower and mix it all together. Then goes in the spices which define the dish as such. We start with the turmeric powder, gives a very nice yellow shade or a color. Red chili powder, small quantity, a quarter teaspoon only. And cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is slightly spicier, so a small quantity. A quarter teaspoon of cumin powder. A quarter teaspoon of garlic powder to give a slight undertone of garlic. Salt. Without salt, there is absolutely no flavor to the dish. It's very important that the seasoning has to be right. Now after adding all the spices and the seasoning, mix it all into the cauliflower mash. Bring it all together and you will see that all the spices release their colors. The next part is to bind the cake, and the first thing to add is a whole egg. The whole egg gives it moisture. At the same time, it brings together the cauliflower mash. Cheese. I actually love cheese. I love to use extra mature cheddar, but for this case I will use a normal grated cheddar because you don't want it too intense and too cheesy. Also breadcrumbs, which is a great binding agent. The best way to make breadcrumbs is to take leftover breads, leave it into a very low temperature oven, 50 to 55 degrees for a couple of hours, take it off and pass it through a rolling pin and break it down, and that gives a very nice crumb. So this crumb actually holds the cauliflower cake quite well. So you have the cheese which gives it a moistness and the softness, the richness. You have the egg which again keeps it, binds it together, and the crumb brings it all together. Mix everything together and what you will get as the end result is a cauliflower mash which looks like a ball of dough, and that means your mixture is now ready. It's time to shape the cakes. Now tikkis are roadside snacks or the cakes, and this is the behind the whole dish. I'm going to shape it up into almost 70 to 80 grams of small balls, and then between my palms shape it into 3/4 inch thickness, 2.5 inches wide cakes. So form them into cakes and keep them ready. To cook it, use a non-stick pan, a heavy bottom non-stick pan. a small quantity of oil. Because it is non-stick, it takes a small quantity. Add, or rather place the cakes onto the warm oil, and you shallow fry the cakes on each side till they are nice and golden. And what it also does is the sides become crisp. Once the cauliflower cakes are done, take it off and put it onto a plate, and it is now time to serve the cauliflower cakes. These are served warm, and for me the best accompaniment is something cool. You can do a tomato relish or some chutney, but in this instance I'm using creme fraiche. So just a ready-made creme fraiche sprinkled with some cracked black pepper and a little spring onion. So here you have it, the cauliflower cakes with creme fraiche to enjoy. Bon appetit!